Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Make a Destination. If you haven't been here before, welcome. My name's Amanda, and this is where I help you make it to your destination. And I just want to say thank you so much for your support for my Lessons From series. It was really fun to do, especially now with travel kind of being restricted. It was really nice to be able to reflect on my past experiences and tell you what I learned from my past travels. So I just wanted to try some new ideas around, and this week I'm going to be talking about my travel budget, side hustles, and some hacks that I'm thinking about trying and some that I have done in order to help you travel. I think this is the perfect time to be thinking about finances in regards to travel because you really aren't in a time where you can do a lot of spontaneous things. So this could be a good time to start saving up for a big trip or, even just a small place that you've been thinking about going for a little bit. I really hope this helps you, and let's get to it. Alright, when I was editing this video, I forgot to say in the beginning to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't ever miss my videos. And leave a comment back down below. Do you have any travel budget hacks that you use? How do you save your money for when you travel? And if there's any videos you want to see, just let me know. Alright, let's get to the travel budget hacks now. Okay, so I'm excited to share this video with you. When I was doing some research for this YouTube video that I was going to make, there really wasn't a direct answer for how much you should spend on travel based on your income. I think it varies from person to person. If you're someone who really doesn't like to travel and it isn't, your thing, obviously you're not going to spend as much on travel as somebody who really wants their human experience to be about exploring different places on the globe. So I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a 50-20-30 rule that you should do with your income in general. So I kind of want to flip that for travel. I don't want to say I created it, but I thought of the 50-20-30 rule when it comes to your travel budget. So whatever money you set aside for your trip, this is how I believe you should break it down. So I said 50% of your travel savings should go to your accommodations, how you're going to get there, and if you're a foodie, I would put that in the 50% category. So all three of these should be half of what you spend. Now, whenever I travel, I feel like accommodations and how you're going to get there are super expensive. Not all the time, especially since the advent of Airbnb. Now it is cheaper. But usually where you're going to stay and how you're going to get there are the two heavy hitting items when it comes to your travel budget. So if you see that when you travel, when you put in an Excel spreadsheet or you're just writing it out, that accommodations are a big chunk of what you saved up, don't be surprised. You got to think, you're using resources, you need hot water, heat, AC, a bed, you're paying the staff, whether it's an Airbnb or a hotel. So a good portion of your savings will go to those two things, especially with flights too. I kind of noticed that flights are expensive, and there are credit card hacks, but I personally haven't tried them. When I was doing some research for this video, I saw a lot of credit card hacking and how to get your flights for free or super cheap. I personally haven't done them, but later on in the video I'm going to tell you which credit card hacks I'm thinking about trying out, and hopefully in a future video I could let you know how that goes. But continuing on, I would say 30% of your travel savings should go to activities. So sightseeing, things to do, museums, things like that. I don't think your ziplining tour should be more than your accommodations. And if it is, I would be kind of skeptical about the company. And, there are some places and companies who do take advantage of the fact that you are a tourist. So make sure that you are skeptical when you're looking at prices. I never just look at one touring company or one hotel company or one Airbnb. I'm always looking and comparing and seeing what my dollar could get me. I know that takes time and not everybody has that, but I would definitely recommend looking around, because usually when you look around you could find a better deal than if you just go in with the first one that you see. And then lastly, 20% of your income, your travel savings or whatnot, should go to other. And what I put as other are the three S's. I said souvenirs, self-care, and shopping. So if you're big into souvenirs and you have family who, I don't want to say expect something, but every time that you travel, if you bring something back, I would say 20% of your income should go to that. Also for shopping, I always like to just look around the boutiques and see if there's a cute dress or shoes. I'm not a huge shopper per se. I don't go and travel just for shopping. I'm more of a experience-based sort of traveler. I rather, go swimming or see something I've never seen before than go shop. But if you're a shopper, I would stick to the 20% mark, because when you come back, if your luggage is heavier, they're going to charge you more for that if you didn't pack or think of that ahead of time when you were packing. And then lastly, self-care. This is something that I always neglect for some reason, and I think as I've gotten older, I've realized travel isn't just about seeing something new, exploring a new culture, going to a new restaurant. Sometimes I pack my trips so much that it almost doesn't feel like it's relaxing, right? You're almost doing more than you would do at home. So I think, this is an important point for people who kind of are always on the go on travel. But I think 20% for a spa treatment, a facial, a massage, anything like that, kind of where you're indulging and just relaxing, I think that's worth it personally, because your vacation should be, semi-relaxing depending on how adventurous you want to be. You're getting away for a little bit, you're not working, and I think there should be a time where your mind is just very zen and relaxed. So that's my 50-30-20 rule. Again, 50% should go to accommodations, flights, or how you're going to get there, whether that's a car. And if you're a foodie, I would say put that in the 50%. If you're not a foodie, for the 30%, it could be food, activities, things to do, sightseeing, so on and so forth. And 20% should be other, which are the three S's: souvenirs, shopping, and self-care. So let's get to travel hack number 2. All right, for my travel budget hack number 2, I was actually told about this app from a professor, and it's called Hopper. I'm going to put a little picture here, hopefully, and it's spelled Hopper. I'll put a link in the description as well. They're not sponsoring this video, but maybe one day they'll be able to. And I think this is a great app for people who don't want to do hours of research on cheapest flights, cheapest hotels, when's the best time to buy. It takes a lot of time and energy to do that. And I think Hopper is a perfect app for people who want to get the best bang for their buck, but don't want to put a lot of time and research into it. So they have 4 different color levels when you're looking at their calendars. So I mainly use it for flights because I'm a more Airbnb sort of girl. But if there aren't Airbnb available, there's also a hotel side of it that you could do. And the 4 colors I use are green, yellow, orange, and red. Green is, this is the cheapest flight you're going to get. It's good for the time. You should most likely buy it. Yellow is, this isn't the most expensive flight, but it also isn't the cheapest. Orange is, this is kind of above average, but it's not the worst. And red is like, no, you probably shouldn't pay for this flight because it is way too expensive for the time. So that's why I like being flexible in my travel timing. I try not to say I have to go somewhere, beginning of April. I try to say, okay, I want to go somewhere in the spring, maybe late March, early April. And then I use that app to see when the best time is to buy a flight. And they can send you notifications when flights go down or when flights go back up, things like that. But try to go to places off season if you're looking for a cheaper route, because when you go during peak season, everything is going to be expensive. Accommodations, flights, then once you get there, maybe even food. So just try to see when the on and off seasons are for whatever place you're choosing to go. But Hopper is a great app to use, and it's localized because you can put in the airport that you want to fly out of and the airport you want to fly into. So I would say that's a perfect app for people who are on the go, who don't want to do the research, but you still want to get a good deal on flights and hotels. So that's my advice for number 2. So let's move on to number 3. Alright, so for my third travel budget hack, this is kind of going to be experimental, and hopefully within the next few months I will come out with more videos regarding this. But this is credit card hacks and having a no debt policy. So there are a lot of videos, especially when I did my research, of credit card hacking and flight hacking, and it becomes very overwhelming when you just see, travel for like $15 a day. There's a lot of information out there. So I just want to clear things up and say it is okay to kind of feel overwhelmed with the amount of credit card hacking tools that are out there. So I personally have never had a credit card where you need an annual fee. I've heard, from people that it's not good to have an annual fee, but now watching some financial videos, sometimes they do pay for themselves. So the first one that I heard is pretty good is the American Express Gold Card. Now there is an annual fee of $250, but again, I've heard the points pay for themselves, and I heard you could get, travel deals and flight deals, so I think that's the one I'm going to try first. It's kind of, to me, an entry-level credit card, and even though $250 sounds like a lot, maybe it will pay off with the travel benefits that you get with it. The other card that I've heard of that's pretty good is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But I heard they just raised their annual fee, I think, from like $450 to $550 or $575, which I personally think is super expensive. Again, I don't know if it's worth the price that you're paying for it, but I'd rather just stay with the entry-level American Express Gold Card first, see how that works, and then maybe upgrade to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what credit card hacks you've tried. If you know a way of getting cheap flights, again, I'm always weary about it for some reason, but if something has worked for you, let me know. And then I also have a no debt policy. I do not think you should be going into debt for travel. I don't mind if maybe you put something on a credit card and you pay it off right away, but I don't think this should be something that puts a financial weight on your shoulders. Again, if you've seen my videos, you kind of know my stance on the Instagramification of travel. It's a good and bad thing, right? You see pictures, you see somebody in Bora Bora or, in a beautiful island in the Fiji Islands, and you want to be that person, right? Or in Santorini, or you want, when you travel, you take pictures so that other people can see what you're experiencing. But I don't think you should go into debt to impress other people. They're not paying your bills, they're not paying for you to travel, and it's not up to them to decide how much it's worth for a trip, right? Like, you should not go into debt to impress other people, right? Travel is for you. It's supposed to make you happy, and you grow as a human, and just going into debt for other people just is not a right decision. And I know I sound like a broken record, but think about yourself. You're not planning this trip to impress somebody else, to keep up with the Joneses. This is for your own enjoyment. You work hard, you play hard, and it should be something that is in your affordability range, right? So even keeping a separate bank account could help you. Right now, we're kind of in a time where you're not gonna decide to do something right off the rip. There has to be a lot of research involved because you might have to get a test before, a test while you're there. There's a lot of research that goes on behind the scenes with travel now because of the whole situation. So having a separate bank account could help you save up money for travel. You could do $50 a week. You could do $100 a week. But sometimes not seeing it directly in your bank account will help you not spend it. So I'm thinking about opening another bank account. Again, I don't know with who yet. I've heard Chime is good. I've heard Ally Bank is good. And I'm leaning more toward Wealthfront. But again, it's going to take time. I want to make sure my money's going in the right place. But I'm hoping this helps. And we are in a time where you really can plan for the future. And I think this whole situation has taught us, live your life. Make sure you don't say no to certain things, don't say no to the trip. You never know when your last day here will be. So just make sure you kind of plan ahead for the future, and hopefully that will help you have a better opportunity to travel. So let's get into side hustles now. All right, last but not least are side hustles. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, the 10 income revenue streams that I have, which I don't have, but, a lot of people are like, oh, you can make passive income and you could make thousands and not do anything. And I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm going to be real with you. I'm still learning about the stock market. I'm still learning about investing. So I'm going to be honest and let you know what I actually do in order to go on these trips. Now, if you don't already know, I'm a graduate student. I don't have a full-time job in my career yet. So right now I'm a server at a restaurant, and this is our slow season because people are nervous to go indoor dining. Summer was our busy season, so hopefully this summer I could save up a few bucks. But I always have more than one job. I usually have 2 or 3, and not everybody is going to be able to do this. But what I do on the side is I actually like to DoorDash. You get to make your own hours. You don't have a boss over you telling you where to go or what orders to take. It's in your own car, and even if you schedule yourself 5 to 10, you could end it early. It's a pretty easy job. There are some nuances with it, like any other job. But honestly, it's easy money, and it's something that you could work into your schedule. Now, it depends on how much you're willing to pay for travel. But, I would set a goal, and then I would make sure that you set a time and schedule of when you're going to DoorDash. There's also Uber Eats, Grubhub. Sorry, my dog is barking. Uber Eats, Grubhub, Postmates, whatever is in your city. And again, you don't have to slave away. But if, your 9 to 5 job is something that pays the bills, maybe do this every Saturday, Sunday night, or every other Saturday, Sunday, and just put that money away in a separate bank account for your travels. Another option to make more money is Instacart or Shipt, which is a grocery delivery service. That's a good one too. Again, you can make your own hours. You deliver it right to somebody's door, and you don't really have a boss telling you which orders to accept and which ones not to accept. The only thing with these two side hustles is they don't take taxes out. Again, I'm not a tax consultant, but just make sure you save a percentage of your income in order to, pay your taxes at the end of the year. And then the last one is kind of simple. Is sometimes I get a part-time job that's quick and easy, whether it's a cleaning job, delivering pizzas. I always try to get a part-time job that works within my schedule but isn't overwhelming me. And just make sure that you're consistent with saving. Now, I think one thing with saving that I always thought was you need to save like 70% of your income, and if you don't, it's never enough. But it's more about consistency. So do maybe $50 a week, and it will grow. That's, $200 in a month. And again, it might feel like a lot. It might feel like, you're working hard, but remember, it's going to pay off when you're playing hard, right? When you're on that beach and you don't have to worry about when you come back about paying bills or about if you could afford a sightseeing tour. You always want to save extra because when you come back, you want to make sure you're able to pay your bills. You don't want to go on a trip, spend a lot more money than you thought, and then not be able to pay your rent, or your car payment, your car insurance, or go into debt. That is not a good feeling. I do not advocate that. You want to feel as though the trip was rejuvenating, that you're relaxed now, and that you've come back a better person. You don't want to come back anxiety-ridden, saying you shouldn't have taken that trip, and now, you're trying to make up hours. Again, I don't get paid time off. I'm a student. I work mainly part-time jobs. But if you get paid time off, utilize that. That is a very nice bonus of working a full-time job, and I would utilize every day that you receive for paid time off. Some people are like, no, I want to work hard for my career. I don't want to utilize all the paid time off. Utilize it because you're only this age once. So that's my little rant of the day. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. I appreciate your support. Click the like button and subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. And thank you so much for your support, and until next time.